Hi, today we are going to see about shared instance, like EC2 pricing continuation. Okay, so today we are going to talk about I'm going to talk about shared instance. Okay, so first we'll talk about shared instance. So what is shared instance? Shared instance refers to the default EC2 instance. Okay, so in EC2 instance, this is a default instance in EC2 service. Okay, in EC2 service, it is a default instance type. Okay, launched in AWS. So in AWS, we have EC2 service, right? So in EC2 service, it is a shared instance. Okay, where that means where VM runs on a shared physical hardware. So it will run on a shared basis. Okay, so it will run on a shared virtual machine will run on a shared basis. That means the physical server may host VM virtual machine from multiple AWS customers. Okay, so this is the shared instance. So that means, for example, now we are launching instance in a North Virginia region. Okay, for example, now. So in the North Virginia region itself, we are like so many other customers will launch, right? So this is like we are launching a VM on a shared basis. So that is called shared instance. Okay. So shared tenancy is a default one. It is default one. Okay. Because multiple AWS accounts share the same physical host. Multiple AWS accounts share the same physical host. Okay. So this is all about shared instance. Now, next one is dedicated instance. So what is dedicated instance? So in EC2 service, in EC2 service instance runs on a hardware which is like dedicated to your AWS account. Okay, but other instance from your can share the hardware. Okay, so this means, this means like dedicated instance means in EC2 service, instance will run on a hardware, dedicated hardware, like to your account to your AWS account, but other instance will share the hardware. Okay, this means that one. This means only your EC2 instance will run on that physical server. Okay, so you only your instance will run on will run on that physical server. Okay, so no other instance will won't run on your physical server. So your instance will run on that physical server. No other AWS customers instance will share the order. So they will share the order. So your instance run on server not shared with other AWS customers. And on run on a server not on a shared basis. So this is AWS. Sorry, this is a dedicated instance. Okay. Now next, what is dedicated host? So in dedicated host, we can decide what we are going to use. Okay. That means like what hypervisor. That means for example, what hypervisor we are going we are going to use. So like that, it is dedicated to us. So that is called dedicated host. So how many what hypervisor we are going to use? How many um how many virtual machines we want to run? So this and all we will decide. Okay. So this and all comes under dedicated host. But hardware is managed by AWS. Okay. We are managing the license, everything. We are managing the license and the capacity. Like we decide which instance runs on like in which host, like that, or it is like it is yeah. It is a physical server fully dedicated to our use. So dedicated host will gives you complete control, okay, over entire EC2 service. Okay. So this is all about dedicated host. So dedicated host, only hardware will manage by the AWS. Other things like capacity, how many virtuals we are going to run, the license of that for that, uh, in which host we are going to run a virtual machine. So these things will be decided by us. Only hardware will provided by the AWS. Okay, so this is all about dedicated host. Now we are going to see about capacity reservation. So what is capacity reservation? So in this word itself, we come to know that we can reserve something, right? So we can reserve the capacity, correct? So that is like capacity reservation. So it will let you reserve the instance capacity in a specific availability zone. It will let you reserve an instance capacity in a specific availability zone. Okay. Like so you like we are guaranteed to have the complete compute resources you need. Okay, so here we can able to reserve our capacity in any specific availability zone. Okay, in which availability zone you want to reserve, in that availability zone you can able to reserve the capacity. Okay, so for this reservation you are charged for the reserved capacity. So how much you reserved? Okay, so for that it will charge. Okay, whether you used it or not, it doesn't matter. You have to pay. That's it. If you are not used, also you have to pay. Okay, but you can cancel it. You can create or cancel at any time. Okay. So while creating capacity reservation, we must specify instance type. Okay, then which platform, like Windows or something, or Windows Linux is there, right? So which platform you want to create instance, and availability zone, instance type, sorry, instance count. We already mentioned instance type, instance count, like how many virtual machines you are going to create in that. So instance count, tenancy means like it is default or dedicated tenancy, which one you are going to choose. So in tenancy, then instance life cycle. The instance life cycle means it is whether like on demand instance or spot instances, which one. Okay, so we while creating the capacity in reservation, we need to specify these things. Instance type, platform, in which platform you are going to, like Windows, Linux, Mac, and in which availability zone, how many instances you are going to run, tenancy, whether it is dedicated or it is default one, or instance lifecycle, whether it is a spot instance, reserved instance, on-demand instances. So, which life cycle you are going to take, like choose. So, this and all we need to specify based on the business requirement. Okay. So, this is all about EC2 pricing contribution. Okay.